What's up, everybody? Me again and the entire damn near lean panel. And it's time to lean in for real, like lean all the way over. I have Antonio, I have Asia, I have Jamie, I have Chad, Chase, Jasmine, and Sammy. Only person who's missing is Danny because he had other obligations and unfortunately he missed a really good time that we got to have.
Dang.
But as you like, as I've said, we have the entire lean discussion panel, and we're here to talk about not only Potomac but also Salt Lake City. So we call it a super lean. I think Chase called it the ultimate lean style or whatever it was called. But how's everybody doing today? It's good that we're all on the same screen at once. This has never happened, and depending on how tonight go, it probably will never happen again.
Right.
It's just depends. How's everybody doing?
Huh? I'm just waiting on my contract to arrive, but I mean, it's cool.
You didn't get it?
Oh no! Oh, that's too bad.
Mailbox must move.
That's crazy.
Oh no, that makes me so sad.
I want everybody to know how this came about because yesterday these individuals, minus Asia and Jasmine, jumped me in the group chat while I was drunk at the gay bar. So I was like, well, Antonio, you take off work. The rest of y'all, come on, let's lean in together. So, like I said, it's all fun. We definitely gonna get into the conversation about everything that's going on in these two shows. And let's just kind of jump into it. Now, obviously, I don't know if you're watching. Last week, there was someone that commented and said that the lean was being paid by Candace. And you know what? I was just like, that's hilarious. But nonetheless, I take it. I get it. But today will be proof that Candace ain't paying nobody on this panel because clearly she wouldn't pass year with what they about to say.
Right. She don't even pay her husband. Why would she pay us?
Right. Exactly. I said that myself. Like she don't pay Chris. But nonetheless, let's get into the conversation. It seemed like Chad is trying to figure out what's going on with his
baby.
Baby.
I don't know what's going on. But at the top of this episode, after last week's episode, let's get everybody's thoughts on how they feel coming from last week's episode to this week's episode. Like, was it still good? Or was it like, how did you feel about it starting with you, Antonio?
This is Potomac, right?
Yeah, Potomac. Sorry, Potomac.
Okay.
My bad. We started with Potomac. Like, see.
We are not off to a good start.
No. I thought Potomac was really good this week. I thought they delivered once again and they knocked it out of the park. I'm not really happy about how some of the things went down, but I do feel like it was an amazing episode.
Okay. Asia?
It was a say-so episode to me. I'm going to keep it quick.
Okay. I like that. Jamie, can you keep it quick? Look your head.
Well, fucking Candace. No, I'm joking. The episode was fun. I think we discussed this in the group chat. I really enjoy these ladies because they're hilarious without intentionally being hilarious. And it reminds you of like the high notes of the series. It's the most enjoyable when all these women are just really like shady with each other without being aggressively like catty. I think every single franchise is the best whenever these women just really get in their flow of reading. Karen was off doing her own thing. So I love it. These ladies are delivering every episode, even if the episode doesn't really give crazy explosive drama. It's still really enjoyable to watch.
Okay.
Except for Candace.
Lord have mercy. Anybody else want to add
the effort, the energy.
Yes, I knew it. Like, girl, this is why we do this on our own. We need another ladies' night, to be honest.
Propaganda.
Let me see your paper again, Chad. Put it closer. Or can you talk now?
I can talk.
Very much. I can
talk now. Very much payola.
Right. The earth is real. Okay, but so moving into the actual episode, of course, we're gonna breeze through these when we get to the main theme on this episode, honestly, which is at the end. But of course, there's a couple trip that Wendy invited out the girls to. At the beginning of the episode, Mia and her husband are talking, and she's basically telling him about what happened with Candace. And also that her mom, who she's really built a relationship with, is going to watch the kids. I guess this is the first time. So that happened. But then, and we can talk about this more too, because it does come up again. Then you have on the other end, Chris and Candace talking, and basically, I guess this is Chris's first time, I guess maybe on camera or not, knowing that what Mia. Well, no, actually, she didn't know that, but I think the whole low budget comment and the Yo Mama thing. So, from this whole scene, does anybody want to add anything about these two scenes before we move on?
No.
Okay, because honestly, me personally, I'm gonna say Mia, this victim. I could tell at this moment she was gonna start making herself the victim for whatever, and I was like, So it was a surprise.
I agree with you, Dr. Kirkwood.
Wait a minute. You don't agree?
Do not agree. We cannot call anybody the victim other than fucking Candace.
No,
that's it.
Stop it.
That's all.
Go ahead, Sammy. Thank you.
I don't see her. She wasn't setting herself up to be the victim to me. I think she was setting it up to let it be known I'm tired of playing with this girl, because the last thing she said is if we go again, if she starts again, we're going to be fighting. I think she was setting up to say I'm willing to try, but if she keeps on, I'm going to go there with her. I don't think she's trying to make herself the victim.
I love how y'all put words in me mouth. That's
cool.
She literally said that.
She literally said that.
She did say
if it
happens again,
she goes there again, we're going to be fighting. She said those exact words.
She said that.
If Mia wasn't such a backpedaling, lame ass nincompoop, then maybe I would say that she was setting herself up to say, like, you got one more time. But she has proven time and time again that when approached with dissension and confrontation, she likes to backpedal. So I
or she disengaged.
That's true. No, that is true.
I don't see where she backpedaled.
To be like, I'm saying you up for an ass, but I'm saying she's setting herself up for victim.
Mia is not the girl that she's. I'm sorry. Mia is not the girl that she sold us on. She sold us on Billy Badass and what you gonna do and this and this and that. And when it does get time for shit to get real and pop off, she kind of backpedals. I actually think that that's for a deeper reason. I think that people who have, and I'm not a doctor, but I just know from maybe my own personal experience that when you have traumatic things in your childhood that you do not deal with, you purposely create portions of your life to cover that up so you don't have to deal with that and you don't have to address that hurt. And until she actually really addresses that hurt or accepts it, it's not going to change.
But y'all know what the hurt is. The hurt is obviously her mother. That seems to be the hurt.
And that's why I can't
that could go for the both of them though. Because
that could go for Candace too.
It's not the same, and she actually had
therapy for her situation with her
mother. So that could go for the both of them.
It does.
I agree, and I completely agree.
It goes for Ashley, it goes for Candace, and it goes for Mia. All right, next
they all have messy
Wait. I think that
everybody got to show up, Mama. Great.
Go ahead, Chad. I
think that sometimes Mia is producing herself.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of picked up with her personality on the show. I think that she backpedals because in the moment she's producing herself to come off how we normally, what we normally look for in housewives, a little catty, a little shade. And then when it, comes back in her face, then it's like, oh, I didn't say it that way, or oh, I didn't say it. I don't think she's backpedaling just because she's a punk. I think she's just backpedaling because she's doing too much in the moment when she just needs to, ride it out, be yourself, and just, we'll get to it from there.
I would again agree if she just did not pump just that. She'd be lying though. I can see if you backpedal and then it kind of be not the truth a little bit. But
I don't even think
be not the truth a lot of it though.
I don't even think that's her real mama. I think that's somebody else's mama.
No, she looks like her mama. I think looks like her mama.
Mia definitely found somebody. Mia found somebody's mama. I don't think it's her mama.
She has her mama's face to Mrs. Potato Head's lips.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I just don't. We're gonna move to the next thing because we're gonna talk about it more. Obviously, my thing is with Mia. I really wish that she would. I don't mind her being that girl, but she's not that girl, and it bothers me that every time, like me personally, I know y'all can disagree, some do, some don't. She is in that moment. You can tell she was making herself the victim. She was just like it was criticism, whatever you say. Like I'm like, no, girl, like you were being messy at first. You got called on it. It blew up in your face, and now, like that's really all it is. Like this. Yeah. I bet you if it was Giselle, she may gaslight the hell out of you, but she ain't gonna make herself the victim. And I think that's what this girl needs to learn, in my opinion.
Giselle is a professional
Well, she said in the same breath that she wasn't criticized. She said it was constructive criticism. And then she was like, well, I didn't bring you to my event for you to criticize my shit. And she was like, well, I didn't criticize you. So which one is it? Like she literally said it in the same sitting, in the same breath. Like I just cannot. I don't understand.
Well, she said take it as constructive.
Yeah, she said you could take it as constructive.
But
she was being nasty. She was being nasty. She was trying to insult.
But she wasn't lying.
But you know what?
Yeah, and neither was Candace. Neither was Candace.
So what was Candace?
Let me ask
Candace
this.
say in that moment that was a fact?
What about what?
That her mama was low budget.
That's not.
Dottie looked low budget with them damn crochet braids sticking up on top of her head and that muumuu she had on.
I'm not gonna disagree with you, Antonio. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not about to. I'm not going to.
I don't talk about mamas. I don't do it. If Dot want to like Moesha, she could like Moesha. That's her business.
Oh my God.
That way. That's her business.
Y'all made me forget my damn question.
Sorry. Okay, next question.
It'll come back to me. I'm sure it will. So then you have Robin keeping Ashley on payroll because Ashley at this point has nothing going on. I say every week nothing going on. But what happens is she gets to film these little messy scenes with either Robin, Giselle, or Karen. They're keeping her afloat on the payroll. And in this moment, it's told to her, supposed to be the first time, about the whole Mia situation. And obviously Robin was like, that's too far and stuff like that, which we all talked about within the last week or so. So that's either here or there. But this is what kind of struck to me. And it was like, did y'all see the TikTok of Ashley, Robin, and Giselle?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of different, it's interesting that Robin and Giselle are friends with Ashley, but they're also friends with Candace too.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, they're not.
Exactly.
You don't think so?
They're not Candace. No.
They'll dump that girl on the side of the road.
I saw a tweet earlier that said, and this was my exact thoughts always. The tweet said, Robin and Giselle don't really like Candace. The fact of the matter is they just dislike Monique more than they dislike Candace. That's all that really was. Yeah. They don't like Candace. And not even that.
They don't like anybody.
Also that, but they also do not want to be on the side of a Reed, honey. She told poor Giselle up in her $900,000 teardown. Giselle
you did.
They were friends after that. Robin know that. You know what I'm saying? Her roommate, they don't shake it around, and Candace will tear that apart too. So it's sometimes
I don't think they care so much about that.
And get along.
Me neither. It's just good to have somebody else in their corner when they get to cranking their bullshit. And Candace, she's such an easy pawn. She just throws herself out there for them every time. Yeah. So it's easy to keep her in your corner.
They're not stupid ladies.
They're not stupid.
Giselle is a lot of things, but Giselle is not stupid.
But the common denominator between Robin, Giselle, and Ashley is that they are all in either bad relationships, non-realistic relationships, and it's kind of interesting that they have this bond. But what struck to me, and that too. But I don't know if y'all caught this when she was like, "I want you to come. I don't give a fuck about Wendy." Now I wonder is it's gonna this don't come up at all because sometimes Ashley likes to act like she has compassion for Wendy in these situations, but she does not. And that statement alone at the reunion, I would get her for that. But like, oh, what you mean you don't give a fuck about me and my trip? Like, why are you coming? You coming like a man anyway, so it's just like,
Ashley's the same thing. Ashley doesn't care about Wendy. Ashley is siding with Wendy is because she's fighting. She's trying to get in good with theirs so she can have an ally, so she can look less messy. Ashley loves playing every single side that's available. Again, these people are not stupid. They know that they're not the most popular, that they can be bullies while still having these little flashes of redeeming themselves, so the viewers can be like, okay, well, she's still trying to make up for being a raging twat. Mm-hmm. So like it's
and a predator's wife.
She's done that every time. You leave Michael Darby out of this. Him and Juan were having a wonderful weekend away from their wives.
Oh my God!
And
I wonder what winery they went to because
correction, Juan not married.
Did you see Karen mention Robin fucking herself?
Yeah, I did. So I knew I wasn't crazy because that shit is fucking nasty. I'm sorry.
That's really like some white people shit. Like, I mean, when you're like,
that's that 60%.
She was like,
that was so
sweaty,
weird.
drunk. She looked real like sticky, just.
I laughed at Karen during that.
I did. I laughed at that.
I want to absolve Rachel Dolezal of patting her pussy.
Well, it looks like she got rid of the braids. The braids were out at this part where I think. Well, they were out last time. So yeah.
Rachel Dolezal to me.
Okay, so let's talk about the actual trip. So this is what things get left. Obviously, the trip there in Chesapeake. I thought it was in Virginia, but I guess it's in Maryland. I don't know. The house is cool. You know, everybody's coming with the exception of Robin and Giselle. So apparently Giselle felt the way about the invite, ironically. Now, last week, her invite was just
okay.
Exactly.
She decides to decline because of the invite. And I get it was a verbal attack on her, but still, the other one was a clear attack on Karen and Wendy, in my opinion, whether she admitted it or not. But she declined. So her and Robin are not going. At least not the first day. I think they come on the second day, we find out.
I think
they weren't missed.
Right. And so this is what I wanted to ask y'all earlier, because this is where it ties in. When me and her husband got there, they both was like, where's the valet? And she literally said, I'm not picking up my fucking bags. And so that's what my question to y'all was like, how do y'all feel about Mia and her? She is you can tell she's much of an elitist to me. And she also she puts herself on a pedestal. And that's
new
why
money. It's new money.
It's something about her.
She comes from the system. Her mother's in recovery. She didn't have a lot of money. We see this a lot with people who come up and get a little bit of money. They have to put themselves up here.
That's true.
To feel good. Some of it was probably sarcastic, but you can clearly tell when they go places. She clearly looks for somebody else to do things for her because she has the money to pay them to do these things for her.
Teddy Perkins better pick up her own bags.
Exactly. I was like, girl, pick up that bag.
But see, this goes back to the whole video shoot. Like, I really feel like in her head, she felt like she should have been greedy. I get that the professionalism was not there. But at the same time, in terms of like you getting there, like it's not really about you. And I think even this moment is another moment where she's making like, and honestly, yeah, but they may have joked about the whole valet thing, but she was dead serious about that damn luggage.
Yeah.
Dead serious. They
left it in the car.
Yeah.
They left their car just sitting there.
Are we
how nobody clean? Okay, it's one thing to walk around and have money and already have been somebody that's used to money, but that's a clear indication of new money. I got new money. I'm gonna sit up here and I'm gonna talk to people. Right, I'm asking valet. I want my underwear folded a different way.
I'm sorry.
It's fucking bag. Too much. It's an overkill for me.
But
I mean, it might be just who they are.
All the white ladies do that.
Yeah, I was about to say, are we calling her an elitist because of bags? Because last week on Beverly Hills, they did the same exact thing.
Every season,
not because of bags. I feel like you can tell she obviously feels like she sits higher above some of the women on the show. She aligns herself with Karen because Karen's her only friend, but in her head, she the way she did Robin and Giselle earlier, the way she did Ken, the way she did Wendy, the way she did Escala, she obviously has an issue of feeling like she is above. And I feel like when you in your first season, that's okay. You may have money, but you're still new on this platform. Your job is not secured. And when it comes to me personally, I know housewife culture is about that because there's another topic we're gonna talk about too. Personally, that's why I don't vibe with her on so many levels because it's so many layers that it's such a turn off. That's one of them specifically on this show because I can see her next season saying she's the queen, and there's nothing like.
All of them have done that at one point. Giselle,
I was about to say that goes back to my comment about her overproducing herself. These shows have been on for so long as to where she's more than likely watched these shows and seen, how you're supposed to. I mean, she's watched these shows. She's seen how these women act and seen how they come in. And I mean, that's kind of how they all act. They kind of all come in with this whole mentality of I'm that bitch, I'm the top bitch. And hell, we feed off into it. I made a comment about this in the group this week. We feed off into it until it becomes such a big thing to where it's like, oh, this is the queen. The show can't survive without them. I mean, that's just kind of Mia is in real time producing herself on this show. We're watching it. I don't think she's an elitist.
If we're talking about people that put themselves on a pedestal and think they're better, Giselle, Robin, and Candace have consistently made disparaging remarks about Mia being a stripper, have made disparaging remarks about sex work, talking as if these women that are in there, even if it's not Mia, you're talking to people that watch the show and you're calling strippers less than, you're calling them whores, you're calling them this. If we want to talk about putting yourself on a pedestal, Candace, you were third runner-up Miss Maryland or whatever, and your mama paid your bill. What pedestal are you on?
I thought we were talking about mama.
No, that's not
Mama paying the bill.
That's the
Mama got the coin. That's a fact. Mama is putting the bill.
But what she actually said to make sure I think
it really more so seems like just
because she didn't come in into no seasons.
Wait a minute, hold on 1 second. I think your Jasmine, I think your audio is
It's like going in and out, Jasmine.
Yes,
if you can hear me.
It's a little
robotic.
It's a little low budget over there.
Chad.
Let's get it started, baby.
Oh, damn it! I don't think that's funny.
But listen, if Regine Hunter don't want to get her bags, I agree with that. I go on vacation. I want to get my motherfucking bags. I'm sorry.
You call her Regine?
Personally, I don't like when it relates to
Teddy Perkins. Stop playing with all of us.
She is everything. Regine said season 1, honey, I am everything I pretend to be. And that is what Mia is. Everything she pretended to be.
Okay, well, let me see. I think Jazz are coming back, but that was good conversation. Like I understand and I get all of that personally, but I think when Potomac started, they felt like they were so much better than in general. This is it's always been their culture. It's always been their culture to look at things like that, like to Giselle and Robin them stripping and stuff is disgusting. That is the culture of their show. With Mia, it's not. I don't really get with the stripping thing. I think it's funny, but personally, her personality and what she exudes, I don't rock with it because in her head, they come in about the broke bitches. That was to make that out loud to others. It's like, okay, well, girl, you ain't got that much money, and if you do, it's from your man. So let's just be clear.
Well, they are married, so
no, that's true. But that's true.
She a boss bitch. Mia is not a boss bitch. Mia married a boss bitch.
Well, but she's the boss of what she's running now. No, she's not the regional manager.
She married.
Yes.
She married a boss
and now
bitch.
She married a boss bitch. What she is doing.
Had she not,
and now she's the boss.
It's a good come up story.
What does the business card say? Does the business card say regional manager?
Honey, don't hate the game.
She didn't show the business card. All she did was push some pamphlets.
That's what
all she did. She showed us what her pamphlets was.
Exactly, Brittany. Y'all talk about leaving mamas alone, but y'all been talking about her mama since she got on
here. Using her mama as a way to insult her.
Yep.
She said leave her mama alone.
The only thing people said was that her mama paid.
Wait a minute, one person at a time. One person at a time.
If Candace is insulted by people saying her mother pays for her bills, which is a
take it up with herself.
That she needs to take it up with herself and her therapist. That is not Big Dot.
And if Mia's mother is low budget, she needs to take that up with herself as well.
But she not talking.
Mia's mother is in recovery.
Mia's
mother is a recovering addict. That doesn't make her low budget. From what I saw from Mia's mother now, Mia's mother looks very put together.
I don't think she literally. I don't think she literally thinks she's low budget. I think it's just a quick thing to come back. I mean, she at this moment, like, I don't think anybody ever said nobody's mom is low, but that's very low. Right. I mean, to actually mean it, now to say it is already low, but to actually mean it, it's like, whoa. Yeah. That's just me personally. But
the fact that now she's continuously saying it to like she knows that Mia feels way about it now. So now that she's saying it after knowing that, then I agree it's definitely completely wrong in the sense of like, okay, you gotta at that point find something else to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
But she can't though, because she ain't no reader like that. A true reader would not have to go to a
we wouldn't even go that big.
Yo mama. She ain't that
but
girl.
But if we were true readers, we wouldn't keep saying her mama was paying her bills and using that as an insult if we were real readers.
Yeah.
But we're not on the show.
Let's
we not on the show. What they do on that show is they.
I'm not saying you specifically. They're still saying that on the show. Are they not? They are.
I mean, none of the girls on that show are readers anyway. We've talked about.
See, Ralph, because Ralph just made a comment saying if they brought on the show, they can be talked about. Disregard, because when Monique made those comments in regards to Giselle last year with Jamal, we didn't care for it because it affected the daughters, and you said she should have mentioned her daughters. So that don't.
I don't understand why this is blown.
Get him up on out of here, Sammy. Get his ass on, Sammy.
This is blown up more than when Heavenly did it to that girl. It was like nobody made a big deal about it, and that's why honestly, like, yeah, sure, Candace is my homegirl, that's my friend, that's fine. But at the same time, it's like, well, damn. I mean, Heavenly wore Mariah out all the time, and it don't matter whether Lucy had an illness or not, because she was sick. She still did it, and y'all let it slide. So it's just like,
we weren't on.
Nobody made
a big on the lean.
You were on Instagram and Twitter.
Down to is the mamas and the way they participate in the shows. Lucy was a motherfucker on the show. Dot is a
Lucy got in a fight.
Mia's mama ain't she. All that girl ain't doing nothing but sit down in front of the camera.
It doesn't matter.
With her daughter.
It does not matter. The involvement. Lucy was
You cannot
messy.
get mad about somebody talking about your mama. If you gonna talk to their mama, I'm sorry. I said that beginning. Don't leave mamas out of it if you sensitive about mama.
No, that's not the same.
I can understand if Candace attacked. If Mia attacked Dot, she didn't do that.
Yeah.
Right, she didn't do that.
The issue
Thank
that
you.
Candace needs to have is with her mama. Her mama volunteered all of that information.
Everybody has their.
Continue to do it to other people. So why is Candace not really upset with Giselle and them as well?
That's inappropriate to ask anybody.
No, I don't think
anything like that. I'm sorry. That's a bad thing.
Mia was wrong. Mia was wrong. But why ain't this energy being had for Big Dot, who went to anybody that would listen and run her mouth about that?
Anybody.
Mia wanted energy. You know, I
Camilo gave her energy for that already.
1 minute. So I see this comment a lot. I have a question. I see this comment a lot of like, where's the energy from Mama Dot? Like, what kind of energy would she really give to her mama?
Right.
I mean, realistic. What would she really say and do to her mama? Wait a minute. This one time. I want to hear it. Chat. Jamie, you first, and then Tony, and then we'll go around. Like, what would she really say?
Well, if you talk about mamas, Ashley and her mom have had a contentious relationship. And what was it, 3 or 4 years ago? Ashley literally sat her mama down and said, "We will not continue to give you money if you continue to do A, B, C, or D." She set very clear boundaries with her crackhead mama and let her mama figure out what's going on.
Jamie, crackhead mama, wow.
That's love.
All right.
Part of the show.
Chad, what do you think? Chad, what could she really say to her mom?
I think that that Candace is just a punk when it comes to her mama. She's just like Candy. Like, it's one of those things to where it's like,
yes, we are.
No matter what not all of us, because I love my
Black
mama.
Women, definitely.
Well, maybe black women, but I love my mama.
Yeah, definitely.
She will get checked if she needs to be checked. She needs to be checked. And Candace needs to simply just grow up here. I'm not gonna be nasty or rude. She needs to grow up here when it comes to her mama, because her mama has showed her over and over and over and over again that I can just disrespect you and do whatever I want to do. I can say whatever I want to say. And she knows that she can keep doing it because Candace is not going to put her in her place.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how I feel about it. She can absolutely tell her, you need to chill the fuck out. Simple as that. And I mean, also, maybe she should just limit her camera time on this show.
It's that simple.
Don't kill my mama, really.
But again, we shifting the blame from Mia to the mama.
The mama
we're talking about the mamas, though.
The mama she has more to blame, if you ask me.
Chase.
Yeah. Also,
not that.
Also, there are financial ramifications for her doing that, and that is another reason why she does it. Because Doc controls her financially. If she actually does say something to her, not only is she going to get another person side of the head, she's also going to get that money withdrawn from that bank account. And we all know Chris classes are not paying for that multi-million-dollar mortgage. And that's true T. Not only that, like someone also mentioned, get your mama off the show. Like, it's Team 2. You can say whatever you want to say about Mariah, but two things that they complain her being was, she always say to the Queen Bee. She stopped saying that shit, and she stopped letting Lucy come on that motherfucking show. So if you want to control, if you know you can't get your mom together in certain ways, get her together another way. Listen, my mother, she don't play that shit. I can't really get her together like I want to, but don't mean I ain't gonna get her. Bitch, I'm gonna get you now. Oh, Mom, I love you. I'm not calling it all, Mama, please.
I do want to say that I do think she could have held her mom more accountable in the conversation last week. She let her slide with that. I don't remember because it's like, but at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I see a lot of comments talking about, black mother, having parents and being in the South. Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes it's just different. Like, me personally, I've had arguments with my mom, like we like brother and sister, but everybody don't have that. Okay, so I'm just saying that's just everybody's different in different upbringing. Like you said, Candy and Candace. So I want to shift over to G. What do we think about G? Her husband. I want
Michael Darby number 2.
Let me get started. We're gonna start with Jasmine, and then we'll make our way around. Jasmine, what do you think about G?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he inappropriate just like Mia. I mean, I think that if he wasn't on TV, he might be a good time. I'm not even gonna lie about that. You know what I'm saying? If he wasn't on TV, it might be a good time because get a little raunchy if you have those types of friends and couples that that are friends. But outside of that, I don't know. I think that he's inappropriate.
You said get a little raunchy, girl.
You said what?
Raunchy.
Raunchy.
Some people got those type of friends, swinging.
G seemed like a good time.
I was in the middle.
I think
enjoy yourself and also chill out a little bit. It was up and down. Like it was funny, but then it started to be like, But you know what? They didn't give a damn. So if Mia wasn't bothered,
and what was interesting to me about this was that if anyone here has been on a couples trip, I've only been on one couples trip, and it reminded me of going on one because you have all these couples and you learn it. There's always one couple that everybody like. Because they may be open, it may be whatever, they may be a little different than what you're used to, and so that's when you see them. But I was glad that he was there because they do represent. They're a very fun couple. Now the whole G-Wagon thing, I saw Twitter talking about that. People saying it was tacky. Some were saying this is housewife culture. I want to hear thoughts on that. Starting who? Go ahead, Aisha. You go first.
The G-Wagon thing was tacky. I'm not into dirty old men. Sorry, that's not cute to me. You do anything for money. Yeah, I get it. But the G-Wagon thing, I don't get it because she was just talking about Escala having dealer tags and getting a new car. So isn't she going to have dealer tags now? Why did they announce it to the entire room? I don't get it. And Wendy, I don't know. Why was Wendy so excited for her? That's what
Wendy was excited for Robin last year too, remember?
Yeah. I think Wendy just be excited. So she's just like...
But Asia, I was gonna say I can't personally afford a G-Wagon right now. So because I can't afford a G-Wagon, if one of y'all get you, we're gonna be like, bitch, get your G-Wagon, bitch. But I can't afford one. Maybe that's what Wendy felt like.
And they were also 3 hours into filming, and they were all shit faced.
They were pretty drunk.
They was drunk as hell.
It was tacky as hell, and I mean the fact that he tapped people is like, watch this. Like, girl, you could have told your wife she's getting the car, celebrated, end of story. It would have been a 5-second thing, but you're making this. And it, maybe G doesn't go on a lot of group trips.
He said that. He said that. No, wait, did y'all catch? He said they had been on a trip together in 2 years, not even couples, just together. So I'm like, well, what the hell they be doing?
So your first trip is in front of cameras, in front of people.
Well, they don't have nobody to take care of their kids because her mama won't do it.
Get a nanny, honey.
Not
the kids is damn near grown. Get a nanny.
I think what made it tacky for me was the whole, hey, watch this, listen to this. Like, the fact that he bought a G-Wagon, I live for that type of carrying on the Housewives shows because that was the culture originally. It was, we going and we dropping
$100,000
on a car and Y and Z. So I live for that, but I hated the whole, hey,
pull it up outside.
It was annoying to watch. It was like, move on.
It was random. It was very random.
You know what I think it was? The moment was too long of a moment. It should have just been like oh babe, answer this. And she'd be like, oh my God, it's got G-Wagon. I would have been good with that. But it was like she was confused and he was confused. They were both confused. And I was like, what is going on?
And then he was drunk and telling the man, wait a minute, wait on that.
Yeah, it was dragged out to me. That's what I don't think I didn't like. I didn't think it was tacky though. I mean, G-Wagon girl, man. G-Wagon. So then after that, of course, when Candace gets there and stuff like that, I don't know if she's there at this point, but she starts her little comments, and I'm like, oh Lord, what is she doing? But what happens upstairs is they go upstairs, and I guess they're talking about G. First is this Candace and Escala, and then Wendy comes in. They're talking more about G, and then they're talking about the situation. What are they talking? They're talking about something. When Mia comes in, they start to kind of go back and forth about, and it's honestly, it sounds like they could have maybe come to some kind of agreement there. But honestly,
Mia was trying.
You know what? I think she was trying. Candace was not receptive. She came in that house ready to start anything with Mia, unfortunately, and that's just what it was. But what was interesting was Wendy, because Wendy found out about the mama thing on the trip, like earlier, a couple of minutes, early before that. And so when Escala and Candace were kind of getting at Mia, she was just like looking at her and was like, it's okay. And then Candace was like, why are you comforting her? You know what I'm saying? She was like, I don't want anybody jumping on anybody. So now, if they flash back to the scene where Robin and Giselle and all them were coming at Mia, and Candace kind of stood up, and I don't know if that's what she was talking about last week when she was saying that when nobody she was like nobody wanted to with your ass, like it was me.
Them hoes, something about
I don't know if that's what she's talking about, but I want to hear y'all opinion about the whole thing about Wendy, because Wendy is Candace's friend. And go ahead, Antonio. Go ahead.
I feel like what Wendy did was okay. I feel like Wendy really wanted a good trip, so she wanted to do whatever she could to try and make everyone get along as much as possible. I don't see anything wrong with the fact, because her and Mia don't hate each other. Yeah, her and Candace are closer than her and Mia, but her and Mia don't hate each other. So I didn't see an issue with her looking at Mia saying, you know, are you cool? Are you okay? Because of how the way everything was going. Not to mention, before Mia walked in the room, they had already came to the conclusion that something was going on with the girl marriage, and it was fucked up, her life fucked up, and all of that. So I didn't see an issue with what what Wendy did.
I was interested. I want to say this, that Wendy sat in there after it kind of happened to her early in the season about them coming for saying that something was going on with her relationship. It was kind of like, I would expect her to be more so defend her on that level, but it was more so, I don't know. Who else want to come in?
Yeah, Skylar turned me off last night.
Very much so.
Skylar turned me off last night. It was, I felt like she was, and the thing is, it was like, it was bound to happen because you put so much, like, you give one person so much like life, and then eventually they're gonna let you down. They're gonna let you down. Finally let me down last night because I was like, girl, you normally are the voice of reason. You normally, you know, even if I found that with a scholar, even if she doesn't necessarily care for you, she still seems to kind of like still speak like reasonable. Yeah. And last night, the comment about Mia's marriage and her life being fucked up, it was just like, girl, like you going a little hard for like you going a little hard on topics that really don't deserve all this energy. Like if you want to talk about Mia being a hoe and all this type of stuff, go ahead. But talk about her life and her marriage, you don't know her like that to be going on doing all that caring.
I thought that's
so it's kind of like
either though. Mia's been on top of Skylar since day one though. So why?
But she hasn't come at her. She hasn't come at her personally and said anything about her life.
She hasn't said anything about her.
Anything about.
Well, the first day she met her, she asked her, did she have a business?
She asked how many businesses does she have, but she
didn't. You don't ask that.
It was written directly.
But she didn't say anything directly about her life. She didn't say anything about her kids. She was trying about her marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, she was trying to dig at her.
So y'all just go
here because at the end of the day, if you're gonna ask somebody in the middle of a discussion, do you have businesses when it did not fit? Then you coming for me. Then every time a scholar speaks,
she's not coming for your life.
She's a mediator, whatever.
A scholar walked in 5 minutes before that. A scholar walked in the door, said hi, and then 2 seconds later
went straight from
the bitch marriage falling apart.
Like, girl, you didn't even put your bag down. Your purse still in your arm.
Well, my question is it over? Are you saying
I don't see anything wrong. Like she can be the voice of reason.
It wasn't wrong. She can say whatever she wants.
I don't like just because she's been the voice of reason in the past does not mean she cannot take her friend's side. Because I honestly think in the situation, I think she empathizes with Candace. She sides with Candace. That's her friend.
Okay.
And also Mia wasn't sitting there owning the fact that she was trying.
And that's what I was gonna say. Mia was not owning what she was trying to make amends, but making amends and sometimes holding some being accountable and saying, you know what, I messed up. She didn't want to do that, and that's why honestly,
the fact that the words accountability and Candace are even in the same sentence with the
listen, you have to talk about one person right now. What I'm saying specifically is there was her moment to own up to that, and maybe Candace probably would have not went to that point. But honestly, with someone, Candace came
in there.
But you know what? We didn't get to see that because
in there wanting an issue with me.
Oh, she did. I agree.
She was going to say Mia was trying to give her compliments. I want to be like your mother. Well, she wasn't found in the strip club. Like she didn't. She wanted a confrontation with.
I agree, but in that moment, she could have owned up, and she didn't. And so it don't really matter what could have happened. It didn't happen because she didn't own up. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's
if
how
you
I
gonna
feel.
sit there and be nasty,
Like, if you're gonna be a nasty girl, like we talk about this all the time, you be a nasty girl, then be nasty. Like own it and stand in it. She does not do that, and that's why she's becoming. I'm
So
just
y'all want
saying.
her to
Who does? None of them do.
None of them do.
We're not. Y'all like to bring other people. We're talking about one person
Y'all
right now.
literally
But we
were
talking about a whole
They grown ass women. They should be able
We were
to.
talking about a
Wow.
Scala. We were talking about a Scala,
If-
and somebody gonna bring up somebody else.
Well,
No,
But
we
the
were
thing
talking
is,
about Wendy
we
initially.
were talking about
Candace-
Wendy.
Candace-
I want to get
That's
to
another
Wendy's
thing. That's
point.
another thing. Speaking of Wendy being
Mia,
being
no.
Candace's friend, for Candace to be Wendy's friend, if Wendy said the tone I want is good vibes only, Candace
Yeah.
respected
Disrespect
that
her.
tone she was trying to set
Absolutely.
on her trip as her friend. Candace
Candace
being
don't
a good
respect
friend, we
anybody.
learned
Mia
last year,
hurt Candace's
that's just not
feelings,
a thing.
and I can understand that. Mia hurt Candace's feelings, and that's
Purposely.
Everybody hurts her
Candace,
feelings.
exactly. So
No.
Candace, but the thing with Candace is like a pit bull with a bone. When she latches on hurt
A
feelings, and when she latches
chihuahua,
on a
honey.
A
grudge,
chihuahua.
she does
A
not let
chihuahua.
go. That happened 3 episodes ago. Like, girl, at this point, find something else to fight about because I'm exhausted with this same thing.
And
And her
I,
mama
Like, there ain't
herself
no
told her
reason.
it was not malicious. I'm still
You
wondering
walk-
why she's so upset if her mama
Jamie,
said
keep
it
that
wasn't
same
nasty.
energy
It
for the
was
next
just talking.
episode.
You
That
walked.
goes
You
back to
walked in
saying
the.
if she just
You
would have
walked
held
in
herself accountable from the jump,
Yeah.
from the
I was
shady,
being messy.
reasonable shady party.
So
When
see,
it
y'all
was brought
see,
up
she
to
held
her
herself accountable. She said, "I said this."
attention,
What y'all want her to
she
do was
said-
apologize.
said, you know
No,
what?
She
her
don't feel like she
apologize.
did wrong. She
Type
held
of
herself
way
accountable. She
that
just
I
didn't apologize for
apologize.
it.
But her
No,
still
she tried
standing
to say
10
she
toes
wasn't being
down on
messy,
being
and she was.
professionally critical is not cool.
Candace
and I
said
want
she
Go
was
ahead,
saying
Antonio. Go ahead,
Oh,
Antonio.
no, it was just a lot of talk. I couldn't really hear what
I was
Jasmine
about to hit the
saying.
me button real quick.
I want to say about
Antonio
Wendy.
did change. Y'all two go. They'll move to the next topic. Go ahead.
Okay.
No,
No,
go ahead. Chase. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I want to say about Wendy. I don't like the bitch. I still think she deserves. It's true. I don't. I'm not. I didn't like her last season. I don't like her
Well,
this
who, Wendy?
season. Wendy. I don't feel bad for her for what Giselle did. I think that she got what was coming to her, and she still has not publicly acknowledged the way that she dogged Monique out last season. Until she does it for me, it's still a dub. However, I will give her kudos for being a good host, because when you host these group trips and two of your friends get into it for whatever the reason, you need to let them know. And while I'm not in this motherfucker, I still support both of you. I love y'all. I think she did a good job of that. And so what I want to see going forward at the reunion, at least, because I don't know if it's going to be addressed during the season, is Candace's thoughts, because Candace did mention during the scene, why are you taking up for her? Whatever she said like that for Wendy, when Wendy was like trying to low-key Mia, because Wendy knew Mia's mom's tea. I want to see the maturity level in that, because she was the host. What was she supposed to do? Lead a girl hanging high and dry? If you go on a group trip and something happens, I'm not saying that I'm dependent on Cortez to be like my dad or my mom or anything and take up for me, advocate for me, but it would be nice to know the bitch who invited me on the motherfucking trip does at least want to see where I'm coming from. Am I good? Am I like straight in this situation? And so for that, Wendy, you get that, but you get nothing else from me, Jermaine
But
Jackson.
why didn't Wendy? Why didn't Wendy
last
say?
topic from Antonio. We move to the next topic. Antonio, go ahead.
No. I don't have anything. I'm good.
Okay, because we're gonna talk about. So the last part is the actual salad tossing, whatever. And basically, in this moment, everybody.
Chad.
What? Is that split or is it kill?
It's a little salad. It's a little salad. Let's go. Let's go.
It looked like iceberg lettuce.
Right.
It ain't. That's why it's being thrown out.
That's very green. That is very green lettuce.
Yeah.
It's fake.
So basically, with the salad throwing or whatever, what happens? And if you watch, I don't know if y'all watched the after show, but like I said, you should always try to watch it because they're typically pretty good. But basically, all the women kind of, even Ashley, of course she was, kind of come at Candace was like, don't do that. But a couple things happened. I mean, led up to this, in my opinion. And you know, I'm gonna say it, but of course, the broke bitches come in. I felt like I'm surprised Wendy didn't get offended by it. She didn't. But also,
she ain't broke.
She ain't broke.
Hold on. But also the hand in the face. Now, in this moment, last year.
I know what you're gonna say. Keep going. Sorry.
No, go ahead. What was I gonna say?
No, Jamie, let it come out your mouth.
In this moment, now, when we define provoking, who provoked who in this argument? And you don't have to give an explanation, just a name. Sammy first. Who provoked this? Who provoked this salad throwing thing? Now, the whole situation down there.
Who provoked it?
Yes.
One.
Who started it? Who started it from the gate?
Give a name.
Candace.
Okay.
Candace.
Asia.
I'm not.
Oh, I heard her say it.
I think it was.
Girl.
It was Candace.
Okay, Jasmine.
Who started the leaf throwing?
Yeah,
Yes.
she did.
She threw the leaf first.
There's a lot of stuttering.
No, because honestly, I didn't know what part he was talking about. Because Mia started talking
I
about
didn't take it from that specific
moment.
I took it from the time she
Well,
came
Mia
into the
was
house
talk-
and the first remark she made.
Mia was talking behind
that's what I took it
Ashley,
from.
so I think that Mia started the conversation, but the leaf.
Yeah, that's what. I was. Yeah.
I think you know what? I think it's gonna be split. I just want to hear it, but I knew what the answers were gonna be.
It ain't gonna be split. It's 4 against 3.
Split. Candace lost.
I mean, okay. How's it? How's it 4 against 3? There's 8 of us here, Jamie. How? How? Exactly.
Not math.
It's not mathing, honey.
Asia.
It's not mathing, baby.
You gotta be a little bit sharper with us.
You know I get tips.
That is funny to me.
Personally, I'm gonna say this. I think she definitely did, and for anybody, she definitely did. She shouldn't have thrown that damn lettuce, the damn salad, because basically she opened the room for salad to be thrown. However, there were moments that happened before that, and I don't think we should ignore that. This is the third time Mia has put her hands on somebody and in their face after they said not to do it.
Oh,
so you can listen. I'll let you.
This is Cortez.
Ain't that happened last season?
It happened. Allegedly, it happened last season. It happened this season with Wendy twice, and that was happening with Candace. Mia is waiting on somebody to hit her. She's waiting on. She wants that moment, and that's the thing. Like Monique, okay, Monique is Gonique. You know what I'm saying? Well, I let her, at least she did something. Mia wants to be hit and be a victim. And again, another instance where she. So
Candace did that last season.
So was Candace wanting to be hit?
And Candace's hand was up as well.
And see, for Candace, for her whole thing last year,
but she didn't literally extend over and do this to that girl. Like
and
she's doing the same gestures as Monique. Y'all not see that? She's doing the same thing. She did it.
Candace.
But Candace is a menace. She's a threat to society. She must be banned. She's physically violent. She does not have control of her.
So yeah, this is the question here.
Wait. She has words provoke her to this. Not the same. She said words shouldn't provoke anyone to any type of violence, physical, none thereof. She threw lettuce that is physical, bitch. I beat your motherfucking ass right.
She didn't throw lettuce at. She threw it on the table.
She threw it at her, girl. Stop it. Now,
Cortez,
she did one of those.
See, listen. Okay, so like somebody said last week when Mia touched Wendy twice on the show, she said not to. Should she have been beat up last week?
Absolutely. Yeah. Hell yeah.
If Wendy would have popped her, she would have been justified.
I wouldn't have had shit to say.
Because that was the second time
before in the past.
But so Cortez.
So if this happened in this episode, when the first time we said hand in my face, she flicked her hair again twice in Candace's face. If Candace had grabbed her hair, would she be right?
If Candace would have grabbed Mia's hair, she would have been right. But Mia would have wore Candace out again.
I don't think so.
Well, the question is, Antonio.
Right. They never stick to the question. The question is,
No. I just
she have been right.
Hold up. I answered the question. I said Candace would have been right if Mia's hand was in Candace's face and Candace said, move your hand. And when Mia did it again and said, what you gonna do? If Candace would have tried to grab her hair, I would have been okay with that. But we know Candace ain't that girl. Candace ain't like no fighter.
And the thing is, Mia is not either. I don't know who
would have beat the brakes off Candace.
Mia, you know what I will say? In this episode, they made Mia look huge in this episode. I have never seen
shady.
I don't know if
Mia looked like a whole James and the Giant Peach.
I think Mia is really a big girl like Nene and Cynthia and them girls.
She's tall. Very tall.
She's tall.
Every scene, this one is like she looks bigger. Like
I really think they were in a small house. They were in a tiny house this episode.
The walls are very narrow. Go ahead, Chad.
Is it okay? Since we are on the topic of provoking, I think that we need to keep in mind that verbal abuse is the same thing as provoking someone. And Candace, as Giselle said on Watch What Happens Live, Candace's mouth is reckless. Like It is no reason why I should be sitting. There's no reason why I should be sitting in my apartment in Atlanta wanting to physically put hands on a woman, and I don't even want to fight no woman.
My God.
I be wanting to strangle this girl because of the stuff she be saying. Her
But
mouth
does that mean you have anger issues?
Right.
Maybe. But however, if somebody is on camera telling someone, I want to see you started it, I want to see you finish it, those are fighting words.
Maybe Candace sitting on ready this time. Maybe Candace got rocks and socks. Okay, then she ain't. But guess what? If you say some shit to Candace, if you get ignorant with Candace, we know how she responds. Stop.
Crying.
You're going to get the same shit every single fucking time. You're going to get tears, napkin, words. If your feelings get hurt by it, oh, the fuck well.
But that's the thing. Mia's feelings don't get hurt.
There are a lot of people on reality TV that do the same thing that she does, honestly, and they can't fight, but they do it. And it is what it is. I don't expect them to fight because it's not Love Hip Hop Atlanta.
Brittany in the comments, she said, "Am I getting mad over reality show?" Reality is still reality, which means this stuff is really happening. So at the end of the day, Brittany, yes, I am getting upset over stuff that's happening on a reality show.
Don't be talking to my guests like that, okay?
I'm talking, look, love down, but yes.
Turn the comments off.
We didn't talk about Salt Lake City.
Yeah. This reality.
All right.
Yeah,
say that beef thing.
I agree because it's like, what do y'all want her to say to you?
What?
I just muted everybody. So we're going to move to the next topic. Okay. I like that we all got involved in it. I'm going to unmute everybody in a second. But basically in the last thing, and Brittany, don't take it offense, child. It's just Chad. He ain't nobody, child. But but no, I do want to say this before we start talking about Salt Lake City. Next week's episode, of course, is Ashley versus the Bastards. And this is gonna be interesting because I really wish that Michael was there, but he's not. Yes. But we're gonna see because apparently Candace has this whole like meltdown at the table. I'm curious to know exactly like what happens with them. Robin and Giselle come, and it's supposed to be like a whole mess. So, any predictions on next week's episode from just a few individuals? Go ahead.
I'm gonna be on my honeymoon next week, so I'm not gonna be able to comment on it.
Congratulations.
Thank y'all. Once again, what I will say, the thing that I saw in this episode in the preview that I didn't like is what Ashley said to Candace. We didn't hear come out of Candace's mouth. One, I also did not like what I saw when Chris was grabbing Candace. I don't like that at all. One, when somebody is upset, you don't grab them to make them more upset like that. Don't manhandle me. I don't like that shit. I don't care if you're my husband.
Especially in mixed company, which Candace just sat there and said that they didn't do. But she also said that G and Mia look like daddy daughter, but Chris looked like her daddy trying to get her from having a triple table at that table.
Yes. He that moment by grabbing her. He shouldn't have grabbed her like that.
Shouldn't no white man be grabbing on no black woman? No way. That's
I love Jesus. Snatch a black and white thing.
It ain't changing over.
That's all I got to say. I didn't like that at all, and I don't want to hear about who white privilege is the worst. I don't care. Like that. Yeah. But that's it. I'm gonna be on the beach next week in Jamaica. Sorry. Bye.
I do want to say one.
That was a flex.
Thing. I just want to say one small thing, and I'm going on Candace. I want to say about Candace that if you have victory over violence, you cannot do anything that leads or looks or is an illusion or the image of violence. So you throwing that little lettuce and all that bullshit, that leads me to believe, it makes me think about everything that has happened in the past and how you was down to the courthouse doing this and doing that. You are a liar, you fake, you phony, you know what you're doing. You're provoking these people to do these and get these reactions so you can become this person that you're not. You a gutterball, trash ass bitch just like them.
Well, who you referring to? Who, Candace or me? Who?
Candace.
Oh, okay.
You can't do nothing if you misbehave violence. Don't do nothing about violence. So
and it's not somebody said so.
That's
Candace can't.
act.
She's not allowed to respond. Candace can respond. I think Candace just has to be ready for other people to respond to her responses.
Ready.
You cannot.
You know what? I think she's ready. I mean,
like
listen,
that.
just because she cries doesn't mean she's not ready. If she just, I mean, if she's an emotional person, she's an emotional person. I'm sorry, it's what it is. Like,
but she was doing
some people when they
the same thing like last
there are
year.
people when they respond with their fists, they start fighting, they start crying when they're emotional, and they're some of the best fighters. You got everybody, and I'm not saying she can fight. What I'm saying is that like her crying does not change how if she's not ready or not. She's just not going to respond. Like you can always know that.
Crying. I'm referring to her just in general. Like had her and Mia had another physical altercation, it would have been a bitch.
Mia is not that girl. Okay, Mia said at the beginning of the episode that the next time it's going to be a fight. Was there a fight? It was not. So
it was a salad toss, and it was cute.
It was a salad toss. So Mia.
If she really bad about it, she wouldn't have let Candace tell about her mama more than one time.
Yeah, it would have been.
She should have beat Candace's ass then.
What I'm saying, just like we talked about earlier, we talked about this earlier. If y'all saying that the salad was, sure, I guess it was physical. That's violence. Then salad is violence.
So Mia should have got
For me, I think what gets a lot of people upset about Candace is we all know somebody like Candace in real life who has a mouth, and we know that they're never going to be that person to take it physical. They're never going to be the person to initiate a physical confrontation. And then there are people that when they get frustrated, that's their go-to. That's how they vent out that frustration. Some people use their words, some people use physicality. And I think what frustrates a lot of people about Candace is that even if it gets physical with Candace, it's going to be a hollow victory because Candace ain't going to be the one to fight back. And so you're not even going to walk away from that situation feeling good or feeling fulfilled like, okay, that was a fair fight. We both got it out. Candace is not going to be the girl. I think that's what frustrates. It's like, I want to beat this bitch ass, but then I'm going to be in the wrong for doing it because I know that girl's not going to want to fight me back.
And so Candace the type you're going to whip her ass, it's not going to matter.
That's the funny thing about it.
It's not going to matter.
She's gonna come right back
and
continue to talk shit.
Yeah. All I got to say.
No, she's gonna go to the courthouse first.
Yes, she will. Come back. Let's just stream Deep Space. It's on Twitter and Spotify. Track number one.
How about y'all
featuring
the intro and send it to us so we can listen to it?
How about we? You know what? How about we just take Real Housewives back to when they was not fighting physically? How about that? When it was just, you know what? Mia would do better. When it was just rich bitches and not broke bitches, because Mia is stuck in between two eras of Housewives.
They're fighting on Orange County, child. They done got to fight in Jersey and Orange County.
No.
Right off the bat.
That's true, and there's nothing wrong with that. But now it's like we immediately go to saying she need to get her ass beat. Like no,
but see, dude,
let's try.
It wasn't immediately. It wasn't immediately.
There's an imaginary rule book. There's this like imaginary rule book of what is and isn't off limits. If somebody could just send it to my Google Docs so I can read it, thank you. Because y'all just saying that was low. Okay, that was low. So we can choose what's okay and what's not. Anytime, I'll tell y'all right here now, anytime you insult me, I'm insulting you back. I'm insulting your mother. If you want to fight, we can do that too. But if you insult me unprovoked, guess what I'm doing? I'm insulting you back. Period.
Yeah.
So that's Asia rules.
We're gonna move on. Everybody got their own rules. I think we all have different, and that's why I love doing this show with all of y'all. That's so good at different perspectives. I'm glad that some of y'all were able to voice how you felt. Chad brought lettuce and paper. we call those like queens. Like queens.
I like them.
But we're gonna actually.
I want Chad to give me like this, though, like this. Ooh, like how me. Let me tell you something. That big old hand was so grateful.
So we're actually going to move on to talk about Salt Lake City. We're going to kind of stick to just the core of it too. For those that want to stay on the panel, of course you can. We've already been on for an hour, but it was I knew it would get like this, so we're going to keep this one shorter. If you're in the comments, we're not going to do call-ins today, Chad. But so sorry, Kyra. But we're definitely going to move on to Salt Lake City. So Salt Lake City has been kind of slow, but it's finally picking up because obviously at this point the biggest thing was Meredith versus Jen. But the core. Oh, actually, before I get into this, make sure y'all like this video, subscribe.
If y'all don't like the video after an hour, like girl.
Right. I haven't said it all day. Thumbs up. And he would be here, gonna be a hater, but he ain't here today.
Are you hating? Are you hating?
Come on, Asia, the voice of the people. And I want to say shout out to everybody in the comments too, because like y'all have been in here like really,
y'all been popping,
very entertained. All the time. Like shout out to I don't know who Brittany is, but I feel like I was the only like Team Candace person before, but now
she won't beef with me. Brittany won't beef with me.
And square up, baby.
Brittany, Precious, Ralph, Brian,
okay.
a lot of people.
I like
they like the Asia child. They said Asia is the chosen queen. Okay, so no real. So
someone kick off Goonicorn.
Outside of the drama between them, the biggest thing in this one, because obviously they make up, is Lisa and Whitney.
Yeah.
Now it's not unexpected, but where this went with this new person, there's a new person called Angie.
I love her.
Angie actually was supposed to. She was in a running against Jenny. Apparently, she was supposed to. It was between them two to get the snowflake, but Jenny gets it. I guess we're gonna figure out why. But basically, what happens is Angie is cousins. It turns out to be like long time somewhere cousins with Angie. Angie's friends with Lisa. Lisa don't really care for Whitney. We know that. We didn't have the bad weather. And basically Angie's having this casino party, this fundraiser, which I think is actually a really good cause. I wasn't paying attention, but when I listened, I was like, oh, like, because she did say that their son is transgender.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to like get y'all thought on the situation and how Lisa handled it before we get to the end, but like how she handled it. And do y'all think that she really pulled that event, like pulled the caterer out to sabotage the event? Go ahead, Chad.
So to answer your question, no. So I have a very up and down relationship with Lisa. More so up because I love me some Lisa Barlow. But sometimes Lisa be on her little shady shit. So anyway, I think that situation was one of those rare instances where it was just a coincidence. Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence?
I ask you.
I asked. I mean, I think that was one of those rare instances where it was just a coincidence. But I think that Angie handled it all wrong because at the end of the day, I mean, why not just call the caterer and say, hey, what happened?
What's going on?
What happened with this or what's going on? To just insinuate.
Oh, damn it, he was on a roll.
That
I'm gonna finish what he's saying.
Lisa,
she just insinuated.
Started in that she was the one that did it. And I mean, it was a lot. It was just I thought she went completely about it all the wrong way.
Yeah.
First, I'll say this. I wish that I hope we get to see more of Angie because I want to see more of that family dynamic.
Absolutely.
Being that the transgender child and stuff like that, I kind of really want. Hopefully, we get to take a further peek into that. I was thinking maybe it was more so of a situation because they were like I guess the cause of the party or something to that effect doesn't really align with them, and they had to pull out. I was thinking maybe it was the cause, being that they are in this like Mormon community, that could have been the cause of them pulling out of the caterers pulling out of this event. I think it's just so happened they were. They're friends with Lisa Barlow. I hate that they jumped to the conclusion of this has Lisa written all over it, and it almost feels like.
But they jumped to it because of Whitney. Whitney planted that seed.
Whitney, why are you here?
Oh, she's mad. But also, did you see Prince JC20 just commented and said Lisa's comment? A party with no food. I don't know if it was editing. I don't know what it was.
I think that was editing. Because they had food.
I mean,
they had food.
I was confused by that because they did have food. I was like, wait, that's food.
And I was thinking, I thought it could have been a conversation about, is there food here or there's a lot of food here? And maybe Lisa was responding to that person saying, and I'm assuming, maybe Lisa responded to that person saying, oh yeah, nothing worse than a party with no food. I think that was just good editing myself.
Yeah.
And they do that. So this entire episode, I was struggling so hard to try to remember why Whitney and Lisa hate each other. And I can't
it's because Lisa doesn't acknowledge really. She don't really like what Whitney has.
She never gave it. She never
Right.
gave Whitney any kind of life.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, I was like, surely this petty reason, because I never remember them fighting or doing really anything until the reunion.
Last season was the issue.
And I think that we all, even last season, thought that Lisa's explosion towards Whitney and Heather was kind of like, girl, where did this come from? Because this, like, nothing happened this whole season. Right. So I think Whitney probably in her head thinks that Lisa is this nefarious, like, Machiavellian puppet master behind the scenes, getting people to cancel. I don't necessarily think she did it. Yeah. The conspiracy theorist in me, like, would love for Lisa to be picking up the phone and having people cancel events because, my God, that is some dynasty level, like, Alexis Carrington drama, and I live. I don't think Lisa's that girl. She doesn't have the smarts.
I do think Lisa is that girl, though. Not that girl to do that, but I think in Utah she is that girl because they all want to be her friends.
I don't think it crosses her mind.
She is.
I don't think, but
Lisa did it.
Whitney
probably. Asia. Do you even watch this show, Asia?
I watched this episode and I saw
just this one.
You think Lisa did it, Asia?
I know she did.
I agree. I want to
Whitney.
I agree. I'm sorry, Jay.
If we remember last season, Whitney also had a run-in with Lisa at her event where Lisa's staff came and was drinking the liquor and being unprofessional and breaking things. And when Whitney came to Lisa as a businesswoman saying, hey, your staff is doing this at my event, Lisa went like, how dare you talk about my business? Like, bitch, I'm talking about your bartenders. Like, talk to your team.
Well, hell, Lisa had paid for it, so.
True. How much that bottle cost?
No, I think Lisa paid for that whole situation.
She donated
she donated that. Yeah, she donated.
She donated a bar to Whitney, and Whitney got on camera and shitted on them people company and the good deed. And so I think that if it was me, I'd be like, hey girl, who are you doing? Oh, fuck that bitch. We're not doing that.
I wanna talk about this real quick. So this is a comment from Prince J. He says, if she told her own cousin not to follow her on social media, Lisa is a real mean girl. So Lisa is actually very responsive. Lisa actually watches this show.
Hi, Lisa.
And so she knows the lean. But on social media, on Twitter, they have deemed her as a mean girl. And I wanted to get y'all opinion on it. Like, do you think that she is a mean girl? I mean, if you feel like she's capable of doing it, then the answer is clearly yes. But in this situation, she kind of says that she just doesn't want to dictate who can be friends with who, but at the same time, she's basically telling that girl, like, don't be friends with Whitney in so many ways. Like, would y'all agree?
Yeah. I don't think she's a mean girl in the fact that she's going to ask people to, like, cancel events. I don't think that crosses her mind to do it, but I can clearly see if I've been friends with this girl for X amount of years and you just found out you cousin with the bitch I'm beefing with. Of course I'm going to be like, I don't like that girl. Like, ugh. But where Lisa fails to see is that she's doing the same thing to Meredith and Jen Shaw. So that's where the disconnect is. I can kind of see it. If that's my best friend and you over here getting good, I don't care if it's your cousin, whatever. Like, girl, it's your 8th cousin. It's all incest over there.
Oh,
so,
exactly.
Like, what's going on?
I'm glad you mentioned that, James, because I was going to ask, like, how I get it that they both share the same great grandfather. So I'm like, y'all like what, 12th or 15th cousins or something like. And what Lisa said in that damn confessional was so wrong, but it was so right. Like, oh, your inbred cousin, and it was that shit was funny as hell.
It was hilarious.
That was really
and my thing is with that, you gotta pick a side. You either for me or against me. So that's just it. And I don't know if that's coming with like me getting older. It's like, nah, because I know you're gonna be talking shit about
it. It is what it is. I don't think Big Up was wrong for that. Big Up wasn't wrong for that. That was right. Girl, you just met your cousin last fucking week. I don't give a fuck, bitch. Keep that bitch away from me.
Not that week.
You my dog. Her name is Big Gulp. You know, I only eat Doritos and drink out of the bowl. So Big Gulp Barlow, she was definitely right, and I think that she did cancel on people, and I think that she also told that girl, "Don't be friends with her." Like, I think it's
she didn't deny that she told her that.
She said what?
She didn't deny. I'm just saying, but they whether anybody wants to admit it, I know I don't really see it for Whitney and Heather, but they attacked her. They ragdolled that girl at that reunion last season. So for me, all bets are off. I don't fuck with y'all. And neither do you.
Both of them are right to respond the way that we're responding. Lisa is right to tell her friend to not hang out with her 18th cousin. And Whitney is right to be like, bitch, that's my 18th cousin. Like, we share a 5 times removed great-grandfather. Like, this is my girl.
Lisa Barlow is the
type of white mean girl I love. And I have to say white. I have to say white because there's a difference between a black mean girl and a white mean girl. And Lisa is the epitome of the white mean girl that I love. That is the cutest sweater I've ever seen. And then as soon as you walk away, she's like, that's the ugliest fucking sweater
I can
just
see
like
her doing
the movie Mean Girls. That's her. Literally, she's Regina George.
Does anybody feel bad for Lisa though?
Feel bad for her?
No.
Also, no.
Fake tears.
To this, well, you know what? She unraveled at the reunion. Remember, she did.
Yeah. Just trajectory through the show. She is the nucleus.
But you know what?
Disregard that at every turn. They cut all her scenes last season. We didn't even know it was her fucking birthday at the girl's birthday last season. We didn't even know it was her birthday too. Then the girl got a cousin. She don't know that's the cousin. They hanging out and shit. Like, I feel bad for her. I'm sorry.
So how do we feel about Whitney? Because Whitney, at this point, last season, I was like, Whitney messy, whatever, blah, blah. But this season, she's very messy and shady. And I know that when things blow up in her face, you're gonna see her, like we said earlier, it's gonna be a very victim party for her.
I feel that.
Ashley Jr. She's Ashley Jr.
I like Whitney though. Ashley. I like Whitney. It's just that what she planted that seed with Angie. Angie wrong for one. I'm sorry because like somebody said, and Jamie said in the comment, there's another Jamie. Don't be jealous. But Jamie Fuller said that basically. Like she could have called her a one-on-one before she got to the video, but obviously she's working hard for her snowflake, which she didn't get. So I wonder. So let's just talk about that scene too. The actual scene was actually funny because when she walked off to get Meredith and came back and was like, "Me and Meredith are good. We're good."
So weird.
I was like. It was like a classic case of like she was trying to deflect. She was thinking about in her mind because she was caught with some of the things that she had said. Mind you, let me say this. She looked good as fuck when she was walking up into the party. Yeah. That gold sequin with that red leather skirt was everything for me. Outside of that, she was definitely trying to deflect, do anything so that Angie wouldn't come at her. That's one thing. Another thing, my friends, the ones that I really, really hang with, that y'all see me with, we've been friends 12, 15 years. It is nothing that anyone can come and tell me that, oh, your friend said this, and I'm going to immediately run with it and believe it. No, that's bullshit.
But you know what? That's why Angie was so calm. My bad. Go ahead, Chase. My bad. Go ahead.
I'm just asking, could he pass my phone number to some of them?
Huh? I can
do
whatever.
Pass my phone number to some of his friends. Some of them.
Absolutely. Text me.
Carry on.
I got you.
Stop playing.
I do think Lisa was deflecting.
Yeah.
I do feel like she was more so not surprised that it was said, but like that it came back to her, especially in the moment.
She said, "Why would you say what I told you in confidence? I thought you were my friend."
She did. She did. She was blindsided from the fact that it was happening, and then I think she felt like she had gotten away with what she thought she did, but then at the party, boom,
Yeah.
Because realistically, go ahead.
I think it was hilarious. To me, what told it that she was caught red-handed and that she didn't want to face confrontation in that moment was when she said, "Whitney, why are you in here?" Because Whitney Whitney probably could have kept going on and she didn't want it to come out. And I think that she really she asked her twice. She was like, "Why are you in here?" And then she even paused like, "Why are you here?" Because she knew
Whitney
that
was like, "Would you like me
with
to
her
leave?"
and Whitney's situation, right?
Yeah,
Whitney was trying to hug
that girl. She did not hug the girl when she got there. She literally it was the weirdest thing. It's crazy. But the way she views Whitney and Heather is like the scum on the shoe. Because she literally was like, "You want to hang with this?" She was like, "This."
Listen,
so they really want to be friends with Lisa Barlow. That's how I know
she does.
Barlow is that girl.
They do.
She wants to be friends, and it's like Lisa reminds me of like the edgy like high school senior like cool girl that you're a freshman and you're like, "Oh my god, I want to know her. She's gorgeous. She has all the best clothes. She has an attitude. She smokes behind the lockers or behind the bleachers. She's everybody loves her.
Like the locker.
She's Regina George.
Regina George. And Whitney's a
Regina
cute
George.
girl. Whitney's very pretty. What I think is going to be Whitney's unraveling is she's on this trajectory of cute and pretty, and I can be ditzy and funny while still being a little messy, and people enjoy watching me. But at some point, that's going to come to a plateau, and she's going to get involved in some mess.
Some real mess.
Yeah. She's going to play victim, and it's going to be like, girl, you've been up here X amount of seasons doing all this shit.
It's coming quicker than you think. Because, baby, you think Mary Crosby don't have a wide half ass for that Whitney? I can't wait to see that go down. Because Mary Crosby do not play with them girls. I don't care what y'all say.
I want to know what happens because her and Whitney were friends in this episode. They're hanging out and talking.
They were. Well, because Whitney is the person that brings on that mess of the
Mary loves it.
So, and
really? Whitney was the one.
Yeah.
Whitney's the one that, Whitney. So Lisa's having a conversation with the man at some point, but Whitney is the one who's like bringing it around. Like they said, she's a part of a cult, doing what Whitney does, and it's just like I wouldn't go there with Mary because first of all, she gonna send Jesus to you.
She definitely gonna send Jesus after you.
So we talked about last season how ridiculous Mary and her wigs look. Can we talk about how gorgeous she looks when she's just at home with her hair and the curl?
Antonio, we talked about this.
So much younger.
She looks good.
She looks so good. Her
the wig is still a little high, but she looks good.
That wig was high.
She learned to have a little leave out.
It was a little high.
That was their first season. That was their first season.
That's Mary though. Mary, that's not changed. Go ahead.
That's Pentecostal church.
No, I was just saying I love Mary and her little natural poof. I wish we could just wear that all the time.
I love her little hairband. She was
hilarious. Good though.
I mean, how many people are doing hair in Salt Lake City?
Nobody.
Girl, she got a whole black church. She better find somebody to do her damn hair.
Did you see them people hair in that church when they came to the church?
Nah.
I don't know. I was trying to figure out where Jen got her braids from.
Stop that.
So Jen's a black woman anyway, so it don't matter. Y'all know she's black.
Jen stole them damn braids.
Yeah.
Okay. So other than
elderly person.
So other than this drama right here, like obviously this kind of I wasn't thinking about this, but in the next episode, Lisa and Whitney have a sit down. And what else? And then Jen has a sit down with Brooke. Brooke finally get his whole camera time.
He's been working for that child.
Come on, snowflake holder.
No, I think she should. Brooke, go ahead. I think she definitely needs to apologize to Brooks, but I think
it didn't have to be the whole scene.
It didn't have to be the whole scene.
At this point, let me tell you what's happening. So I've said for weeks that he is not a child, but he's still her child. Now that they're having a sit down about it, she's allowing him to give his opinion and speak back. Yeah. And so at this point, now he's involved. And that's where they're going wrong. That he shouldn't be able to. It should be, an apology, but giving him this whole moment to where he can be like, well, no, I felt like this. You're putting him on the platform to now be torn apart.
And I wish Meredith at least I wish Meredith would have been there.
She should be there
during the sit down.
Yeah.
But I think that this is going to be a turning point for Brooks, and I think that it'll be okay now to how he decides to respond to Jen. Then it'll be okay because now it'll give Jen the right to say or do whatever she wants to say and do. Because before then, she really was completely out of line. Like it was no reason why she should have been saying the things she was saying.
Yeah.
So I think that now, but I think we're gonna gag because I really think that Brooks is a little sassy, but I also think that he's very Meredith Marks at heart, and I think that he's going to approach the situation the same way his mom would. I don't think he's gonna get really nasty. I don't think he's gonna be like, you're this, you're that. I just don't. I think that he's gonna approach it. It's gonna have some shade in it because he's gonna express how he felt, but I don't think it's gonna be nasty how we may think.
Respectful. Yeah.
I think
he'll be respectful too.
It would be nasty how
I'm just worried. That's all. Like, clearly he had a confessional last season. This whole storyline is involving him. And I mean, let me tell you something. If my mother was married and I was on the show, I'm gonna make that moment everything. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna make sure that is my moment to sit down, and it is what it is. But
why is he off limits in the first place?
He's not. Well, it's not that he's off limits. It's more so. Is more so with this situation specifically, it was gross because as Meredith continues to reiterate, it's not your job to bring him out because for one, he has not figured that out himself. Yeah. And while we may look at Brooks as feminine and and clearly we can tell he's gay, it's still not our place, even as gay men, to pull somebody else out of the
like outing somebody, even being gay. Like,
well, and even still, Jen was Meredith's friend. You are my friend. We've been friends for an X amount of years. Regardless of if we're beefing, that is us. For you to go on social media and now bring my kids into it and like shady homophobic posts. Yeah. We've been friends for X amount of years. She was doing too much as Jen Shaw normally.
Well, she says, so do y'all really think somebody was running her page or somebody hacked her page? Because she really denies everything.
I actually do believe that somebody was running her page. Because she did have
I'm convinced now because I don't think nobody's that delusional.
She had 20 employees, so somebody was running. But at the end of the day, you are the boss. I don't care who run my social media. Run that tweet through me. You tweet it like Mia. You run it through me.
Stop playing.
Mia.
I will say my Twitter did just get hacked, and I don't have access to it anymore. So I mean, it does happen.
Yeah.
Are you liking homophobic tweets?
Right. Because if so, we got to talk.
But see, that's the thing. She never said
I said no shit.
No. I was saying she never said it got hacked. She was just saying that one of her employees was running it, so she didn't know what it was like.
The fact that she's not taking any accountability, regardless, she needs to. That makes it. It has to be somebody hacked her page the way she acted. Just because if I let Navy run my page, it still was ran, and it was on my platform.
Yeah.
But Jen has been wanting. Jen is another person who produces herself. She actually overproduces herself. But
I agree.
She's been wanting a moment with just about anybody she can find for anything because she also. I remember last season she made a comment about Brooks's tracksuits. It wasn't like a gross comment, but it was still a shady and unnecessary comment when you have this boy who's trying to get his fashion line off the. You're supposed to be supportive. Again, Meredith is your friend, and she's making comments about his line being all the same, or I think she said it's all just one tracksuit or something like that. Yeah. So it was like, Jen has been looking for a moment with anybody she can find a moment with, whether it's Brooks, like anybody. It doesn't matter.
She tried it again tonight with Miss Mary, and Mary shut her down so fast.
Mary said,
Mary
said, I don't want to do that.
Mary said what she got to say.
I live for Mary.
She was like, let's get dinner or something. She was like, no, I don't want to do that.
So they can have like a grill off. Mary was like,
like, you ain't invited to the barbecue, bitch.
That don't sound fun.
It wasn't Housewives, no. It was a sort of real, no.
She said, no, I don't want to hang out with you. And then she was trying to avoid, who was she trying to avoid? Jen still by sneaking through the back door over somebody's
That was funny.
Bitch, I'm like, what is going on? Like you're in a ball gown.
Uh-oh.
We need to change their battery.
Oh, Lord Jesus, a fire.
That's a real fire. Lord Jesus,
who is that so I can leave him?
It's me.
We about to lay down anyway, but I just wanted to.
See what happened when y'all talk about Mary?
Lord. Okay, it was definitely I muted him. Let me come back. But pretty much all that happened. Episode. I did find it funny at the beginning. Jen had a minute meltdown at the beginning, and it took for her. Reason. I like that her first assistant or whatever it is was kind of calm her down because obviously she was going somewhere. But I'm glad that he was able to get her at least to apologize to Meredith or whatever. Yeah. Now when she threw that bracelet, if it really was $70K, I don't know what type of drug she on, but
she got a disposable income that ain't
okay.
hers,
she needs that money to pay off her creditors.
I guarantee you now, she looking back at that show like I should have not thrown that, knowing that I'm about to
kept that. Look, if I had been Lisa, I wouldn't have made a big deal about it. I would have put my foot right over that bracelet and said, "Oh no, come back, girl." And when the camera closed, I would have picked that bracelet right up and taken it to a pawn shop.
Yeah,
direct deposit.
I don't understand being so angry you destroy your own things like that.
Well, Jen is
right.
I don't get it. So
she's overproducing herself.
Yeah,
overproducing herself.
Yeah. But that pretty much concludes everything in the episode. Both Salt Lake City and Potomac were good this week. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I believe the Potomac reunion is Wednesday. And
really?
Yes, and a scholar was invited to be there for those that still like her, so she will be there.
We love her.
She could click back up.
She can.
Yeah.
She can.
Yeah, she can. She can. It was just one instance.
Whatever.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna
We'll
see.
see.
What I will say is, on like I said, the after shows have been interesting. I'm curious what's gonna happen with Karen, because Karen in the after show is a different Karen than on the show.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Karen be talking cash shit.
We didn't talk about Ray's shade to Giselle.
Right. Oh, when he said, who's she bringing? What he say? Who's
The hairdresser.
The hairdresser.
The hairdresser.
He said
Let me
it so
find out.
casually.
Let me find out. Ray
I
is
said
writing
now,
the
Ray.
reads for her. Ray
Child.
is writing the reads.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad, Chase. I forgot you was on mute. I forgot, girl. It was the fire alarm. My bad. You hear it?
Oh, those were good. That was a good 5 minutes too, wasn't it?
You are so rude, Asia.
I am so sorry. I am so sorry. But on that note,
I love
Chase,
it.
Is that
plug
right,
us out.
Asia? Oh, is that right, Asia? Bitch, go ahead. She's a dirty.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
Chase.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I
Let's do
need
it.
you. I need you.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. So we definitely gonna lay down. This was a really good session. It was a longer, but we basically covered a lot in the episode. I'm glad everybody, the whole lean team joined. Minus Dead, I wish Daddy could have been here. Chad would have been even more team against Candace. So
I love it.
I'm calling it now. A scholar's gonna have the best look reunion. A scholar, the best.
Absolutely. A scholar's gonna look good.
Well,
I hope so. I
hope Candace wears that ballerina denim look. That was classic.
With the thigh-high boot. Oh no. But the denim.
Asia, what are your thoughts on that denim ballerina look for Candace?
I liked each piece individually.
I hate you.
Anyway, again, thank everybody for joining. Thank everybody in the comments. Some people were here. Some people stayed for the whole time. So
they did.
For a good show. The commentary. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Sammy stayed to watch. He left. He leaned that after talking about Candace.
Mission accomplished. Let's roll.
Y'all really didn't accomplish much, but go on.
So this actually went really well. So there may be more super panels, super leans, whatever in the future. It actually went pretty well. I only had to mute like twice. Thank God. Of course, Beverly Hills comes on Wednesdays. I think this is the finale, so tune into that. The reunion starts next week. Oh my God, 4 parts, but we still gonna do it anyway. And then as far as Salt Lake City, honestly, Salt Lake City comes on Sundays, and I just started back walking. So, I be trying to be out. So I got to figure out, where will Salt Lake City go? Will it be after this? Huh? Because it also hasn't been the best. So maybe when things hit the fan, I'll be more like whatever. There will be coverage for it, but as far as it being live, I'm just not sure yet.
Okay.
So we'll see. It'll be on a week-by-week basis. But for those that are watching, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for leading in. Thank y'all for the panel. And y'all have a good rest of y'all. Love you. Monday.
Nice to meet you, Asia.
Chad has too much Wi-Fi connect. Look, he gone, Chad.
Look, that's what happens.
We keep talking about low budget.
Oh, okay.